For Yah Girl.
That's right, it's a podcast.
It's Pop For Yah Girl.
We drop it loud.
Pop For Yah Girl. It's Pop For Yah Girl. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Nwugochi, and welcome to Pop For Yah Girl. What's up, guys? I am so glad that you guys are joining me for episode 4. We are in week 4 of January 2020. What? Y'all, week 4 of January. This is the last week in January. And I don't know about y'all, but for me, this is a big deal. Episode 4, last week of the first month in the new year. You guys, where is time going? Like, it's just flying, but I'm just excited because I promised myself that I was going to be consistent to more than a few things this year. And in week 4, episode 4, like, it's just a big deal to me because we going. Episode 4, we got this. We consistent. Hey, it's a party. Episode 4. Okay, yeah. But no, for real. Y'all, if y'all are out there being consistent, ladies, I celebrate y'all. I congratulate y'all. I lift y'all up in this moment because you made it through this whole month being consistent. Even if you just listen to all 4 episodes, hey, that's consistency right there. That's some type of consistency because you may be new to the podcast scene. You may not, like podcasts like that, but you said, you know what, I'm going to listen to my girl Nwugochi. I'm going to be consistent with supporting her, with supporting my sis. And you out there and you supporting me. And I thank you for it. Yes, girl. Thank you, girl. No, but seriously, like, it's a big deal. Consistency is no joke, you guys. And I'm just learning this year that, you know what, sometimes you're going to go through some stuff. You're going to plan out to do some things and you may get the ball going and not really realize how hard something is to do or how much work it really takes and how much effort and how much sacrifice it takes to get that thing going. But then once you get that thing going and you like, oh man, Lord, this ball I'm trying to push up this hill is like, woo, it's exhausting. And you may have to stop for a second and take a break. And it causes you to be inconsistent, And so whenever you see somebody out there being consistent or whenever you're able to be consistent and not have to take a break, just have to, you may have to slow down in the pace a little bit. Like last week's episode, I had to post on Tuesday instead of posting on Monday, but we got that thing out there. Okay, we got that thing posted. All right. I was not playing. I'm like, you know what? I'm not finna let this week go by. It was an issue with my internet. And then y'all know I'm a flight attendant, so I wasn't even in town. I had to pack my equipment to go with me and, record in the hotel room. I had recorded the episode and then I had to email it to my husband so he could help me get it edited. And then, even doing that, like the internet at our house wasn't working, so we couldn't post it. And I just was like, man, like we trying, but we had to slow down going up that hill. But at the end of the day, it sure did get posted on Tuesday. Okay. All right. Because I was not playing. I'm here for you guys. I am here for every single moment of the journey with Pop For Yah Girl. And, this season it's going to be bright. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to be shining a light. Like I said, we're going to be building a community of strong women of color that is not afraid to lift each other up and not afraid to, really come out there and share your stories and share your voices and, how you can empower the next woman out there. And that's what Pop For Yah Girl is all about. It's a podcast for our sisters and other women and other young women that are out there and they're trying and they just don't know how. They don't know how to do some of the things that you have done or I have done. But this podcast is here to shine some light on, stereotypical issues and, cultural controversies and, things that, women of color go through on a daily basis. And, we don't necessarily have all the answers, but my answer may be different from your answer. But as long as we're sharing, as long as we're putting these things out there and we're really having conversations about them, I really believe that it can change the world. Okay, it could change the world, starting with you and starting with me. Okay, so we're gonna keep this thing going. Of course, if you've been listening to Pop For Your Girl, you know I got 4 segments that I'm always going to hit you guys with. We got Pat Your Weave segment, which is a segment that, is just about shining a light on the stereotypical issues that women of color face. And it's about empowering women to move past those stereotypes and pat their weaves anyhow. I'm not saying that the everything that I'm going to be talking about is specifically patting your weave. No, I'm talking about the issues that I face, how, sometimes you may be afraid when you're in certain rooms if you have that itch, y'all know what I'm talking about. If you wear weave, you have that itch and you are just afraid to just, pat that weave. You just, in a room with and you're the only African American, you're the only, Latino, you're the only Asian American, whatever your culture or your race is, you may be afraid to do certain things that, is normal in your culture. But to anyone else, it is a little different from the food that you eat when you pack your food, your lunch, going to work. Are you worried about how that food is going to smell? Are you worried about how your clothes, or, you just cooked your family a big dish last night, a cultural dish in your home, and then some of that smell got on your clothes? Are you worried about what people are going to think or what they're going to say? It's these little stereotypical differences that the Pat Your Weave segment is all about. And we are just letting you know, sis, it's okay. It's all right. We see you. As long as you stepping out here, you grinding and you being yourself, hey, pat your weave, sis. Pat your weave. Do what you got to do because it ain't easy out here. It's not. It's really not. And for today's Pat Your Weave segment, I just want to talk about something that you guys may be a little familiar with. I call it a professional courtesy. Professional courtesies when we get into, meeting rooms and when we get around people, professional people, or when we're in professional environments, to what extent do we feel like we owe a professional courtesy? Are we feeling like we have to wear solid black and white colors to these professional meetings? Are we feeling like we have to, have a professional voice, a professional look, a professional hairstyle? To what extent is being professional? And, one of the things that I learned very recently was that, with me, I really have to I had to start looking at the way that I pronunciated certain things and how I, spoke about certain things, because people would think that I'm over passionate or over emotional, or even to the extent that I have an attitude just because, I may feel so strongly about a situation, even at work or, with conversations, with other people at work, and with conversations with, people in general. It's just, why are you so emotional? And it's just I can't be emotional, or I can't, voice my opinion the way that I want to voice my opinion, and, it be taken to a place that, I'm emotional, or I'm, I have an attitude, or I'm too passionate about a situation because of the way that I speak. And my husband would tell y'all, if I'm very passionate about something, I get a little bit loud. I really do. And I, was okay with it. I was like, you know what? I'm not worried about what other people think. I'm not worried about, how people view me or whatever. It is what it is, because I'm passionate about this topic. So I will get, a little bit loud about it, just so, you can see how passionate about it I am. And I just recently found out that just because I'm passionate about something, it would be somebody would say, like, can you bring down your voice a little bit, or, okay, no need to yell, or, and I'm just like, what? I'm not yelling though. Like, this is how I talk. Like, this is me. This is the way that, I say things. Like, like, what's the problem? Like, you got a problem? We got a problem? Or we good? But no, seriously, like, it just got to a point where I had to start realizing, like, okay, like, everybody doesn't accept me and my passion for certain things. And, as women of color, like, I don't want you to ever feel like because you're passionate about something, you have to change the way you talk, or you have to change the way you look. You have to change the way you walk. You have to change, who you are, because you're afraid that no one will ever accept you for that passion or accept you for that emotion. Be your raw self. Be who you are, regardless of what, people are deem as right, or deem as a professional courtesy, or deem as, a professional look, a professional vibe, if you will. Like, to me, I feel like if I carry myself as professional, if I carry myself as a woman, if I walk, talk, look as a woman, then that's all you need from me. That's all you need from me. If I decide, like, I like to wear pantsuits instead of wearing skirt suits, that's all you need from me. I'm sorry. Like, no, like, don't deem it, a professional courtesy to be one way, just to be accepted in a room full of people that may not accept you for your raw self. Okay. And so I turned that thing off, girl. When I started noticing, like, people like, with that I would meet with, they would be like, oh, okay, like, you're getting a little bit loud. Like, I told myself, you know what? They're going to have to accept it, because this is who I am. Like, if I know that I'm not yelling at you, or I know that I'm not having an attitude with you, or I know that, it is a real conversation where we're passionate about something, then, this is me. This is how, and even if I got to go into the conversation and be like, okay, this is a topic that I may be a little bit passionate about, so excuse me if I get a little loud. That's my professional courtesy right there. Okay, I'm giving you a professional courtesy to let you know, like, hey, this conversation is dear to my heart. So I may, excuse me if I get a little, emotional or whatever, because at the end of the day, I really have, feelings about this behind the words that are coming out of my mouth. And that's okay. Sis, that's okay. It's okay to be passionate. It's okay to be, a little bit loud. Now, when you get to a point where, I think it kind of, there's a fine line, like there's a little gray line where it comes to, am I just being obnoxious and loud and, with no substance behind it, and this is just, just, I want to be seen, or I want to draw attention to myself or whatnot. And I think that's where people, don't really understand, like, okay, is she doing this because she's passionate about it, or she's emotional, or is she just being loud and rude and obnoxious? And is this just really, how she is all the time, And so we really have to, just own yourself, own who you are, own your voice, own your look, and don't let anybody strip you of that. Don't let anybody strip you of who you are and, why you are so passionate. Because, I remember being at a place where I was just like, dang, like, everybody thinks that I'm emotional. Everybody thinks that I'm just, I can't have real conversations without getting emotional about it. And I remember dimming my light in certain situations because I would be like, oh, they don't really want to hear what I have to say. They don't really want to, they don't want me to go there because I will get emotional about this situation. And, I remember getting to a place where, I would just be quiet. I wouldn't say anything because, I knew like if it was a topic that I was just so, and I have a problem, y'all. I have a problem with, standing up for people that can't stand up for themselves. So if I see or hear somebody, talking about somebody that I feel like they can't stand up for themselves, then that's when the emotional Nwugochi gonna come out. Like I'm gonna be like, well, I just think that y'all just being a little bit too hard on the person. Like, this person went through X, Y, Z, and they went through homelessness, they went through living, and I'll get there. I'll get to that point to where, I feel like I have to defend that person. And so, it may be that I am at a place where, that professional courtesy, I feel like it negates the professional courtesy that you may think I owe you, because at the end of the day, in this moment in time, we're talking about a real passionate issue at hand. Don't let me start talking politics. Don't let me start talking about Trump, okay? Because then y'all just really gonna think I'm emotional and I but no, and I think that's why they say that these things should be, when it comes to politics, religion, anything debatable, it should be left out of the professional environment. But at the end of the day, we're human beings and we're always going to talk about, things that are important to us. And so if it ever gets to a point where you're a woman and you may be in a conversation with a whole bunch of men, or you may be in a conversation where you're the only woman of color and, everybody's speaking like this and, they're speaking slow and, you just really are passionate about something and you believe in something and, you are honestly, emotional about it. I'm telling you, sis, patch your weave. Okay, go ahead and pat your weave and be yourself in that moment. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, because at the end of the day, God put that passion in you for a reason. Okay, He put that emotion there for a reason. You may be the only one that can speak on that situation in such a passionate manner that you make everybody else in the room understand from a different light. Okay, because you may have experienced something that has you so passionate about the situation, okay? And they may not have. And so that's why they can be all calm about it and civil or whatever. And, but for them, they need to know. They need to know where this passion coming from, okay? So don't be afraid, sis. Pat your weave and, be yourself. Be yourself. And if anything, all I hope that you get from the Pat Your Weave segment today is just really, really knowing, like, being yourself and being professional is, you pull professionalism into who you are. Like, you pull it into who you are. You don't change who you are to be what is deemed as professional. Okay? All right. Okay, and on that note, I'm going to move right along into the next segment, which is the Go Girl segment. Hey, Go Girl. Yes, the Go Girl segment, which is a segment that I dedicate to, any woman that I see out there, just setting examples and doing their thing. And this week, the Go Girl segment, it is so special to me, y'all, because I got to give it to somebody that I know personally, okay? My sister, Nwugochi. Yes, girl, you get the Go Girl this week, girl. That's my sister. That's my sis. Yes, she my sis, y'all. So, Nwugochi, yes, Nwugochi, Nwugochi. We blood sisters. We blood. Yes, the chi. Nwugochi, Nwugochi. Okay, so the reason why she gets the Go Girl is because, every now and then she'll send out like a random text to our family group text. And this time she sent out a random text or whatever. And she was just encouraging the family, just letting us know like a situation that she had went through and, how we could benefit from the situation. And so I'm just going to shed some light on it, on what she put out there in the group text and how it just kind of inspired me and made me feel during the week. Like it really just made me feel good, like good, y'all. So basically she was at Chick-fil-A, and while she was at Chick-fil-A, she encountered a situation, like, how some people just be going in for no reason at Chick-fil-A. Like it was a woman that was going in, and basically because she didn't receive her order. Like another woman got her order before she did, and she had ordered first. And so she started, going off on the woman at the counter who was the Chick-fil-A employee. And so when she was going in on the employee, she ended up getting her order. And then my sis, Nwugochi, she, went up, placed her order or whatever. And I guess she has this thing where she wanted the top of the lid for her to-go cup rinsed off. And so when she took the lid off of the to-go cup, no, I'm sorry, guys, she wanted the to-go cup rinsed out before she put the drink in it. And so when she took the top off of the to-go cup, she put the top down on the counter, like with the bottom on the counter. And so she was looking like, okay, you just gonna put the top on the counter. And like she felt like in that moment she could have went off on the girl. She could have been like, well, I want the cup rinsed off, but now you're putting my top on the counter too. And so but what my sister did, she handled it like a true woman, and a true woman of God, a true woman of light, a true woman that didn't want to go off on the same woman who had just, experienced a bad customer. So what she did was she just took the top and took her drink and went in the bathroom herself and rinsed it off instead of going off on the woman. And I just was like, man, that is so encouraging. And, so that just brought me back to just being able to remember who you are in moments of trials and more in moments where you feel like, your anger. And, a couple of weeks at Bible study, I was just talking about how I feel like, and sometimes like I just get, my anger can like rise up, and, I can find myself, yelling or being upset, or, the situation didn't even call for it, but, I'm just, irate for no reason. And so, I just had to think about it like, dang, what if I was in her shoes? If I was in that situation, what would I have done? And I'm not saying, I don't think I would have yelled at the girl or went off on her in any way, shape, or form, but I probably would have asked her to rinse off the top too. And she probably would have got an attitude with me, and it probably would have been an escalated situation, and it could have went to a place where it did not have to go. And so the reason why Nwugochi gets this Go Girl is because she really stepped in a situation and allowed her light to be shined to other people that may have been observing her. And, sometimes like our first instinct or our first reaction, isn't always the best reaction. And so she knew that, and she did that, and she didn't allow, she didn't want to make the girls day any worse than what it was. And so, sis, I commend you because I would have said something. I really would have, but you go, girl, go. Yes, girl, because it truly takes a big person to just really humble yourself and, see the situation at hand, at the bigger picture. And she didn't want to make the girl's day any worse than what it was. And so go ahead, Nwugochi, go ahead. Yes, girl. And so I just want to move right on along to the next segment while we talking about Go Girl and and being great out there and lifting up our sisters and stuff. Yeah, I'm going on to the Lift Every Voice segment. And I'm sorry, y'all, because my cold has just been acting up. But today's Lift Every Voice segment, I want to talk about the Tyler Perry Fall from Grace movie, because a lot of y'all have been lifting y'all voice on the topic, and I just been hearing so much about it. Like, a few people have been commenting on it. It's been on about talking about it on the radio, talking about it on their Instagram, on Facebook, and I liked the movie. Like, I actually watched the movie before it was a controversy, and I liked it. Like, I didn't see nothing wrong with it. And, going into, everybody's thoughts about it on social media, I'm just like, wow, like, like, dang, like, I ain't getting none of that from it. But the big issue basically is that Tyler Perry is basically profiting off of negative stereotypes of Black women. And so they're saying that, yet again, Tyler Perry puts out a negative narrative showing the Black woman from a negative light. And, so another Black woman that has to go through some negative situations. I'm trying to say what I want to say without telling the movie, because if y'all haven't seen it, I want y'all to go and watch it and get your own, thoughts on it. And I just want to share my thoughts. I just want to lift my voice, okay? Because, I'm not trying to add any fuel to this fire, because I thought the movie was good. I thought it was good. Everybody said that they shot the movie in 5 days. And of course, it's not the best when it comes to like lighting and editing and like even scenes or anything like that. But as far as like a mystery, it's a great mystery. It's a great thriller. And, I'm just going to touch on not just how good the movie was, but just the fact that Tyler Perry is creating narratives for Black women. I think that is phenomenal. That's phenomenal. And, the Lift Every Voice segment is all about community. And so when you think about our community, when you think about what's going on, in Hollywood, you have, Hollywood, which is, a predominantly white atmosphere where they create movies with all white casts, and there are very few roles for African American women. And so Tyler Perry doing this, where he's creating these narratives, y'all have to think about it. It's not just about, him writing African American women in a negative light, because honestly, like, I don't take it like that. I take it as he is creating jobs. He's creating jobs for our community, okay? He's creating jobs for us. All right. So, I just think that y'all have to remember that. You have to remember that, we like to think that, oh, we have just arrived, we here, we made it. But when you think about it, like, who is doing what Tyler Perry is doing? As an African American man that owns his own studio, the biggest studio, okay, the biggest studio, y'all have to think about it. So he's trying, and, I lift my voice today to just really, really let y'all know that we have not arrived. We have not arrived in Hollywood. Like, there are still, things that, we don't see. We get to see these movies. We get to see people like, Taraji P. Henson and Gabrielle Union and, Sanaa Lathan and, other African American women out there. They out there doing their thing. Okay. And so I say all that to say, like, women of color, like, we have to be careful, because we never want to take away from somebody who is being a positive light in our community, in, a place that is already slim pickings. It's already, we don't know, when the next African-American director / studio owner / producer is going to pop up. But there are already so many in Hollywood, in a predominantly white culture. And so, we have to lift one another up and just make sure that we're not tearing each other down, because he is creating jobs. Okay? That's all I have to say on that. But go see the movie A Fall from Grace, because it's dope. It's really dope. And I loved it before it was controversial, before, anybody had anything negative to say about it. I liked it. Okay? And so moving on to the last segment of the day, I got a thought of the day for you guys, okay? As women of color, I really want you guys, if you didn't get anything away from this episode, I try to make sure that all of the segments kind of blend together. And the one message that I was trying to send to you guys from this episode is stay true to yourself. Never switch up, because you are in a room full of people who may not accept you or understand you. And, we are going to be sometimes the only woman of color in the room. We are going to be sometimes, the only woman in the room with a whole bunch of men. And, sometimes, it's hard. It's not going to be easy, but never switch up. Never do it. Because if you do, you end up selling your soul. And I want to remind you that you don't have to sell your soul to fit into the mold. You don't, because you are created fabulous. You are created, in God's image. You are created to be who God called you to be, and be okay with that. Be okay with that. Never sell yourself short, because that's how it happens, where you start waking up and you don't like what you do. You don't like going to work. You don't, you find yourself miserable. You find yourself, really not liking what you're doing. And it could be because you've sold yourself as a different person. You've sold yourself as somebody who embraces professional courtesy. You embrace, changing and being a chameleon when you walk into the room and when you walk into places that people may not accept you. And, when we do that, we end up having to play a role every day when we go to work. And so, especially when I came into being a flight attendant, I was like, you know what? Y'all, this is what y'all getting. This is me. This is it. Like, I'm not going to change for nobody. Like, I'm not going to try to fit in with nobody. I'm not going to try to fit in and be something that I'm not. I'm naturally an introvert. That's naturally who I am. But sometimes, like, with this podcast, God calls me to be an extrovert, and that's okay. Like, you just have to know where you are, who you are, and when, to be who God needs you to be. Know when to be who God needs you to be. That's what I'm going to say. And on that note, never sell your soul, and keep on being your true self. Okay? And I love y'all. Thank you guys for listening to Pod For Your Girl. It's the 4th episode. If you're not following me, follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is Nwugochi, at Nwugochi. Please go follow. If you're not following Pod For Your Girl, follow Pod For Your Girl on Instagram. It is pod, 4, Yah_girl. Go follow us, you guys. All of my information is on this SoundCloud page. So, when you go to SoundCloud, just look and you'll see like the links where you could click on the Instagram. You could click on my boutique page. You could click on my Facebook page to keep up with me and what I'm doing. And I really appreciate y'all listening. And I hope you guys are encouraged. Please share the link with somebody so they can be encouraged too, okay? Because it is more than enough pie for your girl to go around. It's your girl, Nwugochi. Till next time, peace out.